On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, it's going to be part 2 of 100 Realtor Marketing Weapons.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
That intro was super low energy. Anyway, I'm Dave Snowberger. Your host for today's 25, what are they, 100 marketing weapons best used by realtors.
Not a realtor?
Not a realtor. Joined in the studio today with Marshall Tucker.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Why are you screaming into the mic?
I'm bringing that energy.
Oh.
You just said it was low energy.
I didn't. I said that was low energy. Well, my bringing anyway, and the butcher himself, James, the new guy.
What's going on?
I hope by we reach 2020, I will have 3 or 4 more nicknames for James. I'm coming up with them every day that I see him not completing something. So anyway, just giving James a hard time. That's what I like to do. Most people might think that that's a little bit mean of me, and you are absolutely correct.
It used to be me.
Yeah.
Mark's like, get him.
Thank God for James. Thank God for James. Anyway, so we're going to get back into this 100. We went through this list, actually, and I thought a lot of them were redundant, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to let James just mark through the things that we talk about or beat on constantly, or and just leave unmarked. We'll talk about the stuff that we deem like super helpful to realtors, right? Super helpful to listeners out there to get them into action, to get them the things they need to be doing, right? On a consistent basis, right? And so we'll give them some tips about each one of these things we do. I see a lot of ink on that page, so it looks like we crossed through a lot. So let's get through this episode and, dump some value on these folks.
Man, I thought you were about to be and go.
Oh, punch you right in the
I thought he was giving me knuckles, but he was going for his phone.
I'm trying to touch my camera. I'm trying to touch my camera, and he's over here punching my fist, and you're over here like, and go.
I was like, cool, what we do?
How not to start the podcast.
Yeah, jeez. It's amazing we have listeners. But
We're a little rusty since all the lost episodes.
yeah.
It was not lost episodes.
I still want that to
Not
be like
plural.
a new podcast called The Lost Episodes, just like Real Estate on the Rocks.
We
The
published
Lost
everything.
Episodes.
Except for one right now.
There's no way. But anyway, let's get on with it real quick. So we're talking about these marketing ideas, these marketing weapons. Let's go ahead and get into the ones you want to talk about, James. Go for it.
Farming.
Okay.
So picking a geographic area that you're doing multiple things, and they kind of hit a couple of the points, but door knocking, drop-bys, door hangers, things like that you're, in a specific geographic area that you're going to focus your business at.
Farming needs to be very strategic. If we want, like I said, I'd like to do some kind of like bring Steve Full in and do a video of an online kind of farming clinic and film it, because I think it'd be super helpful if Steve did something like that and then post it to YouTube. He'd probably monetize that and then start making money off that thing, knowing him. But farming is one of the biggest things you can do after, I'd say, the first year or 2 in the business, and you realize a little bit more about, or you've got more knowledge about general sales, right? Yeah. So you've closed some deals, and now you can start spending some of that money on marketing and getting into the neighborhood and picking a neighborhood strategically, and then start geographically farming the neighborhood, right? So if you don't understand what geographic farming is, I don't want to go into it on the podcast. Just go right over to YouTube, put in geographic farming for real estate agents, and there's a plethora of information right there. Take a look at that stuff. That'll help you get started. If you have if you have questions about farming that are a little bit more drilled down, send them over to me or just text them to me at 512-773-6461, and I'll get them answered for you. Next.
So actually, before that, there's also community groups. So you can do like create a neighborhood group if there isn't already, or join a neighborhood group if they let you in.
Or like a buy-sell group, trade group, right?
Yep.
Facebook
or
group.
some of the actual communities have, or like neighborhoods have,
like
or
Nextdoor?
HOAs. Mm-hmm.
Nextdoor?
Different ones. Yep. Yeah. Those are some good ones.
Those are drama tanks.
Oh my God.
Who knocked on my door today?
joined
Here's a
one
picture.
oh my God. I joined one thinking like, oh, this would be a good one. I could, start talking to people. Bad idea.
Who's
It
this?
went south. It went south fast.
Does anybody know who this white Escalade belongs to? It turned around in my driveway. It's like, what?
You have no life.
Yeah. why is this Honda Accord sitting outside the mailboxes?
He knocked on my door. I'm calling the cops. It's like, why? Is that illegal?
Answer the door.
Just don't answer it.
Who is it? I remember the one guy though. What was that? I have a little story about this. I always love my little stories. But there was a guy, and he wanted to know. He had a badge on, not like a police badge, but he had one of those kind of like little name badges on. And some guy was posting like, "Hey, who is this guy? You know, blah blah blah." He's sitting there. He's taking a picture of my doorbell and all this stuff, and he just had his phone out. And so there were all these comments like, "Who is he? Who is he?" And it was a neighborhood that I don't live in, but I'm in the neighborhood page somehow. Right. And so I was like, oh, I ran into him on the street. He's a bail enforcement agent. He's looking for somebody that jumped bail. And actually, I think it's you. And then all of a sudden, boom, the whole thing was gone. I thought that was pretty funny. But it stayed up there about for a good like 15 minutes. And it had, you know, a lot of interactions of people liking it, commenting, and putting little smiley faces on what I said. So it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Go ahead.
Host meetup groups. That's a good one. So we did our community. Well, the area we focus on is Williamson County, and there's almost
nobody knows what that is. It's Austin, Texas.
In Austin, Texas.
Right.
There's almost no realtor networking groups or social kind of gatherings. We thought that was pretty weird, so we started one up. And so we're taking the holiday break, and then we'll start it again in January. But it's a good way to bring people in the industry together and kind of network with them, because you're going to be on the other side of the table with them eventually if you continue to do business.
Yeah.
We also are working with the EXP agents here in Austin to have an Austin one, or EXP Austin social event as well. Yeah. So just more networking and stuff, and then you can also do those. And then one of the other points on here is business networking. So there's BNIs, Chambers of Commerce. There's one called The Buzz, which is, you know, slightly different, invite-only kind of one. But there's different kind of networks, business networks that you can network with professionals who you're going to want to do business with and connect with throughout your community.
I was at one yesterday, actually.
They're good.
Business Network, Lunch and Learn.
Mm-hmm. Right. What, a bunch of realtors there?
No, actually, there wasn't.
I wouldn't go to anything that was a bunch of realtors, too.
I was the only realtor.
I wouldn't do a meetup group for realtors. I wouldn't even go to an EXP meetup group. I wouldn't go to a Keller Williams meetup group. I wouldn't go to anything where other realtors are that sell real estate in my competition. I know that we're supposed to have this open mindset or whatever else, but give me a break. No one's buying anything from you in the hallways of your office, and certainly no one's buying anything from you at a networking event, because you might sit across the table for them.
Unless they're interested in EXP.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for attraction stuff, I could see maybe you go and you just say hi real quick, whatever else, get your name out there. But yeah, I'm not hanging out with a bunch of realtors.
Some people like to hang out with other agents and you know, have the community kind of based thing.
Yeah.
Hall walkers.
I'm not saying I don't like agents or like to hang out with agents. I'm just not going to meetup groups or networking groups with agents. Mm-hmm. I'll go to a mastermind.
Other businesses.
But I'm not trying to go have drinks with a bunch of realtors I don't know for the fact of building camaraderie, and you know, I'm just not going to. So I just shot that one out of the sky.
And that way, sir, is why you're blacklisted in 3 other cities.
It's just for, you know, if you like it, go for it. If you don't, obviously don't.
I would say if you do a meetup group and say you do an investor group, right? And so what you do is you put out, you start the meetup for local investors. You bring a local investors. You get yourself a lender on board. You get yourself maybe a title company on board, a home inspector on board to pitch in for all the costs. You rent a little room or reserve a little area of the bar of your favorite local bar. You get them to help you pay for food. And you help them pay for drinks. And then when they come in, they get a little name badge. You know, they get a little "Hello, my name is Dave," and they sign in. And what they do is they get their drink tickets, but they have to give their email first before they get the free drink tickets. Now you have their email, so you could send them properties. Then you get to mingle and work the room and say, "Hey, my name's Dave. I'm a real estate agent. I'm the one that put this thing together. Are you an investor now? Have you ever invested before? You know, what's that look like for you? You want to build your portfolio? I can help you with that. You know, where would you want to start if you did invest? $100,000 property? Well, you're in the wrong city. All right, so you're in the wrong. Austin, Texas doesn't have any $100,000 properties.
Yep.
You know, and so we need to go to a different area, maybe of Texas or somewhere else, or I can hook you up with one of my investor friends somewhere else, right? And so you build off that, you know. And so I belonged to a drone group for a while. You know, I was like, what's the best way I can go out and learn how to fly drones? Is, you know, or basically surround myself with a bunch of drone nerds, right? And so I went and I did all their drone stuff, and so I went to the park and met these guys, and there's a very eclectic group of fellas, you know. But
I'm sure drones or something like that is going to
help me, right? Yeah. It helped me, you know, do those kind of things, and I got that through the meetup group. I just joined somebody else's meetup group. I didn't start my own, right? And so, but most of the stuff I've done for meetup stuff has all been about attracting clients, not other realtors.
Yeah.
So,
So
anyway.
you have two different things. And so one of the other points was, which is what I was going towards as a follow-up, is mastermind groups, like you said.
Right.
So there's different, you have different groups for different purposes, and then you should also do and join group, like hobby type groups.
And here's another one too for our listeners. And I'm just going to keep interjecting. I'm letting you run the list over there, so I'll just keep throwing my 2 cents in.
Go for it.
But I would watch what masterminds you get into, right? So you don't want to. If you're a $10 million producer, it's not going to benefit you a lot to go to a $100,000 producer mastermind, right? So I would break those groups up. And if you want to control the mastermind to learn what maybe other agents are doing in your market center, I would attract agents that are right about your sales group. So if you're at like $10 million, I would invite people that are $7 to $13 million, producers, right? And so I wouldn't invite anyone, because then it just becomes almost like a sit-in. Where people just throwing out things, and then all of a sudden, realtors, we're famous for this stuff, and we do it on this podcast. Squirrel moments, rabbit trail moments, right? Yeah. So we're talking about this on a mastermind. All of a sudden, someone's going to bring up something about an inspection, right? Yeah. It's like, we're not here to talk about inspections. We're here to talk about high level stuff, right? Yeah. This is a mastermind.
It shifts from mastermind to social event,
right?
Which are two vastly different things.
Which is what you want to attend, and which I don't want to attend. You want to go to social events. I want to attend masterminds. So. That's
for different purposes, though. Yeah. Like social events, I like social events because I like being around people and stuff like that. I like masterminds for the brainstorming and
I'm a shut-in. I don't want to be around anybody.
I know. So it just depends on personality type. Some
That's
people
so not true. That's so not true. I'm a social butterfly.
Some people just don't want to be around other people like that, or take people in increments. I know some people they're great around people, but they need that like window. They can't, you go too much past that window, and they're like, I got to tap out. Like, I've used my words. I've been around you too long. I just need to go home, and they recharge away from people.
Right.
So yeah, vastly different things. Just know what you're going into before you're going there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Let's see what else we got. There was, it said podcast. Don't start a podcast.
No, start a podcast 100%. That's probably the smartest thing you could do is start a podcast.
And host a radio show.
Right?
Be similar kind of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of lenders out there. There's some local radio shows that we're not a part of at all. Mm-hmm. I think we were asked to be on one once, and I was too nervous to do it. I didn't want to do it. I kind of wimped out. Told him yes, and then I wimped out, which is not really my speed. I don't wimp out on anything. It was just kind of like, you know what it actually was? It was a lender that I don't use. That's what it was. It was a lender that I didn't use, and I felt bad cheating on Magic Mike.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so, Mike and I have known each other for a long time. And of course, I have other lenders we go to for certain things, land, whatever else. But Mike gets the first whack at pretty much everything we do, because I know he gets the job done, But I remember that guy asking me, and he even said, I remember he even called out, he's like, is it because you use that other lender? And they actually
Mike.
They actually at the time were with the same. I don't think he called it. I think I'm the only one that calls him Magic Mike, but or you guys. Now I heard he's getting his license plates on his car, Magic Mike.
I was like, oh, you're joking. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. I was like,
I'm gonna do it.
You better do it.
That blows me away. That's freaking awesome.
We'll post pictures when he does.
Yeah, Magic Mike. So I forgot what we were talking about. Go ahead. Next one.
Volunteer for organizations and attend / if you can, host charity events.
Volunteering. What a colossal waste of time. I'm just kidding.
This is when days ready to tap out.
Yeah, there's some, you can tell it's late in the day and I'm ready to go, right? I'm just being cynical about everything. But no, volunteering is dude, that's one of our strong things right now. It's like we left a big company that was ingrained in volunteering, right? Yep. And one thing with not having that brick and mortar stuff, brick and mortar, presence out there, and us being a part of a big office, like we have to do our own things now. But I remember, I went to a big dog thing. What are you laughing at?
Now we have Blue Day.
The stuff that goes on in his mind cracks me up.
I see him over there laughing like an idiot, and I'm like, what are you laughing about?
You haven't even said anything yet.
Yeah, now we have Blue Day. Oh my God. And so, no, we'll have something like that though. And more than likely make it a ritual. We have our own culture within in Snowburger Realty, right?
Yeah.
So we have our own culture and we're trying to build on that. And we're trying to do good by others. And I donate money all the time. I mean, shit, today I got a pass to Disney World. No, not Disney World. That'd be too expensive. What's it called? Down the road in San Antonio, SeaWorld. I got SeaWorld, right? And at the end, after they whacked me for that big payment, they're like, hey, would you like to donate? And I just couldn't help myself. I was like, yeah, I'll give $10 to that, and just the whatever, give it to Shamu.
He's like, that's a good idea.
I don't usually donate like that anymore when they ask for $1 at the food line or something. I don't do that because I usually do my own donations. So,
right. Well, you're doing one right now, right?
Yeah.
Through the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. For Thanksgiving, we're giving some turkeys away to other people who otherwise wouldn't have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We've done a coat drive before. We've done volunteering at the Rock before.
Yeah, we've got a client right now that she's solo. She lost her husband. All her kids live in New York. We're selling her house, and she's got no furniture, nobody, and just kind of like, well, that's depressing. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, Wednesday we're going to show up with a full-on meal and say, hey, look, you ready to get your grub on? And nice. She's going to be like, I don't know what that means. Can you articulate my grub on? So, and just kind of like, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Marshall's done lots of things with this stuff. So he started the Coats for Kids thing, not the national one, but the one, the one in our community. And so we've done the things where we've given away bikes before. We've given away toys. We've done a lot of things with the flooding here. We raised 2 tons of food.
School supplies.
Canned goods, school supplies. Yeah, fill the school bus. That was a Keller Williams thing. However, we contributed with that. We've done some of our own things where we did backpacks, right? We filled backpacks and gave them out to air quotes underprivileged kids, which I didn't know we had in our neighborhood, but apparently we do, because you don't see it. You don't see that stuff on the surface, right? And so once you start digging a little bit more and you're a little bit more ingrained in the community, it's like, yeah, this stuff exists. It's like
all over the place.
Shit, yeah, I'd love to give to this. So
yeah.
Anyway, so I sponsored cheerleading stuff. I sponsored.
We've done some veteran events.
The high school across the street, the veteran events. You've done 2 of those for us. You're great with that, with the veteran outreach stuff, being a veteran, and you're actually still
and donated food and stuff for the family day.
G.I. James, there's another one right there. James the Butcher, G.I. James the Butcher.
That sounds too close to G.I. Jane.
Change the subject.
Okay, so I'm kind of torn with this one. So there's a personal. I don't care. No, the personal branding and marketing with like wrapping your car. We like wrapping cars. Some people do. Some people use magnets and stuff.
I knew it.
He can't pass it up. As soon as you
said we like wrapping,
let me give it to you.
Air mixed in. Oh my god.
Anyway, wrapping car. What else?
Just personal branding and marketing. For that, they said some other ones are do like your Google business page, and anything that's creating your brand.
Let me go ham on that real quick. Create your brand. Right, that we started off with that, the last episode.
They hit it like 4 different times in here, but
right, which they should, because
it
needs to be redundant in your head. You need to always be doing those things. So always be brand building, and so it just everything you do every day, you need to start basically your day with how can I stand out today, right? What can I do today to be noticed? And especially when you're starting out in this business, because nobody knows you, nobody cares about your problems, nobody cares about that you don't make any money, nobody cares you don't have any clients, nobody cares about anything. And so therefore you need to make them care. You need to get out and show people that you sell real estate. That this is who you are. You're here to help. Go out and volunteer your time. The residuals will be tenfold coming back to you when you get out there and you volunteer and you build your brand, and they know why you're doing this stuff. You might struggle at first, right? You might really find this job really hard to do. You might fail out like 80% of other people. However, if you're building your brand and you're doing these things that we mentioned right here in these 100 realtor marketing weapons, if you're doing these things consistently on a consistent basis, there's 100 of them. Pick one of them. Pick one of them and stick with it. And building your brand should really be the focus of everything you're doing is attention. Money is attention, right? Attention is money. It works hand in hand with each other. The more money you have, the more attention you can create. The more attention you create, the more money you'll have, right? The more people you get to help, the more people that know, like, and trust you, the more you stand out screaming from the mountaintops, look at me, look at me, look at me. I sell real estate. I'm here to help you. I'm coming from contribution. I got this. Just put the ball in my hands. Let me get it across the end zone. Boom. You won't have to be a statistic and fail out of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't. I mean, we sit in here and we laugh about this stuff and we kind of play around every once in a while and go through these things. And I think they're redundant at times. And then I forget they're not redundant. They're important, and they're important and redundant because they're always out there because these are the things you need to be doing. Now, realtors want to go buy leads from Zillow and Trulia, and they want to worry about who's taking away business from us. They want to worry about Open Door and Knock and all these other ridiculous companies out there that have no effect on anything. You want to blame everybody for problems. You want to blame the reason why you don't have clients. It's because you're not out there branding. You're not out there staying consistent. You're not out there screaming from the mountaintops saying, look at me, I sell real estate.
Yeah.
Cool?
Yep.
I haven't had one of those tangents
Ice
in a while.
cold.
You can tell I gotta go. I gotta go and drop some knowledge bombs real quick and get the hell up out of here. So
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I mean, that's truthfully how I feel, though. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that, and I just kind of like sometimes I don't want to take I want to keep the gloves on. You know, and I just want to appease everybody, and I want listeners out there to like us or whatever else. And I'm like, you know what? Going through some of these points and telling people, you know, like it's like that with the whole thing. It's like most people would maybe side with you about the whole like, let's start a meetup and talk to other realtors. Like,
Yeah.
I find there's no reason to do that. I love other realtors.
Yeah.
I like networking. I like doing those things, you know, but I'm not going to start a group to go hang out consistently to do that. I'm going to dump all my time into doing this so I can hang out with more realtors, right?
Yeah.
They get to hear me talk, and then they get to ask us questions, and then we get have like Q&A sessions where we can pour back into them, and we get to cliche-ish help more people. All I care about is helping people these days.
Yeah.
If I help people now and I give it away for free and I just keep giving and giving and giving and you do it and you do it and I bring everybody else into this circle and we keep pushing all this stuff out, you know, and it starts to make sense to people. And if we could save one person's career from that 80% fail out rate,
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
worth
glad
it.
we did it. We don't get paid to do this show.
No.
We pay a lot of money to do this show. You know, we've got a lot of money in equipment. We've got our time investments, our biggest thing, because time's not free. And especially when we sell real estate, time's not free.
No.
You know, if you break it down and you sell 4 deals a month, just say you do 4, right? Average price point, you make $10,000 a month. Or you just say you make 10 grand a month or 20 grand a month. Break that down 40 hours a week, you know, and just kind of break this down to, okay, this podcast cost me $200 an hour to sit here, right? Now, people would say you're full of shit, you're full of yourself. However, look at my DAs, right? And so I make the money.
Yeah.
And so we sit in here and we pump out 3 episodes a week, right? And so that's just the time we hit record. What
Yeah.
about all the prep time, all the things that we do before this stuff?
The editing, the
Yeah,
syndication,
so,
the
I mean,
follow-ups,
obviously it's
research.
evident that we like to help people, or we wouldn't do this podcast,
Yeah.
right?
We have
And
far
so
better things to be doing.
We
than-
don't monetize in any way. We get a small contribution from our friend over there at Guaranteed Rate, Magic Mike. You know, and you know it's he gets our plug every once in a while, and he's going to be on the show soon. Probably not. I've been saying that for 100 episodes now. I've been saying that for a long time. But you know, I mean, I just feel that you know, a sense of gratitude to the people that are sticking it with us and listening to us.
It made me very happy and sad to hear some of our listeners say that, where are the other episodes at? Yeah. It's like, yes, they're listening. Oh.
Yep. And you saw me throw him under the bus faster. Even Brian Cosi over there at the whistle operation was just kind of like, ooh, somebody's in trouble.
so dumb. I was cracking up. Oh, man.
But, you know, I mean, it's I don't know where we got on this subject. It's one of the squirrel trails I like to go down. However, man,
They call
all
me
these
on my
things that we're
OCD.
doing, all these things that we're doing, you know, we'll try to bring you the most relevant topics, the best real estate news. We'll put our spin on it. You know, we'll articulate the best we can and get these things out there. However, the basics aren't going to change. The fundamentals aren't going to change. These 100 weapons aren't anything new. These 100 marketing weapons aren't anything new to the business. It doesn't take much to do them. But I would say after the 100 of them, and like I said, James, you could probably shrink this down and put this onto Facebook on the Top Shelf Agents group and let people take a gander at these things. But I would seriously pick 1, at most pick 3, and then do 3 consistently. If you're having tough time in your career, if shit's just not working for you, you know, if things just aren't working for you, call me personally. 512-773-6461. That's my personal phone number. I would text me first to see if I can talk to you. If not, I'll arrange time to talk to you. I don't want any money from you. I don't want anything from you. I just want to help you in your career. I don't want you to fail out, right? And so I've had plenty of people come through our operation that failed out, right?
Yep.
I've got, you know, I mean, when we all first started, we teetered right there on failing out of this business, right? And so I'm looking for that validation every time I say right. I'm like, I'm leading you. I'm shaking my head like, right?
man.
You're like, man, I wasn't about to fail. I was king shit. Like, right off the bat. No, but I mean, I genuinely care. I know you two guys care. This is why we show up every Tuesday at 9:30 and do this podcast. We're looking for another host. I know that. I know that we want
Empty chair here.
another local host to Austin, Texas. I would prefer it if it was I would like a woman's touch on the podcast, a woman's perspective.
I was cracking up with, you could do that virtually.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that virtually now. I'm like, dude, if you came into our studio, look at our studio. Look at all the camera work around here. Look at all these cameras, all this technology in our studio. We know what we can do, However,
I've seen it happen one time.
Yeah, I just don't think there's going to be any. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any synergy. I don't think there's going to be any kind of like
it's
camaraderie.
very different. Yeah.
I mean, our guests will remain to be online, and so that's another thing. If you want to be a guest on this show, tell me why. Just text me and tell me why. No, they can text me.
Text you too?
Yeah, that works. They can text me. Or they can just text over at Top Shelf to 88000. That'd probably be the quickest thing for one of us to get back to you as soon as possible. And remember, we are EXP agents. We're kind of broker agnostic while we're in here. However, towards the end of the show, we always like to mention, if you want to have a conversation about EXP and see why we might have we came over to this brokerage. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, is what they say. So far, the grass has been pretty green for us. So we like it. We like the sharing style. We like everything about it. We like the agent attraction. We like the revenue share. We like the stock options. I've just surpassed a massive number of stock options. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane. What's that?
They pile up fast. I was thinking it's only 5%.
I just got another letter in the mail, and it was like, here's another 500. I was just like, really? Wow. Like, I guess I'm buying the maximum stock I can out of my checks. I don't even notice. They just go right in the bank. So I'm good with that. So you can do join EXP to 88000. Once again, we'll drop Magic Mike in there. I'm sure we have plenty of times. Guaranteed rate. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks for listening. As always, drop us that 5-star review. Tell us what you don't like about the show. We know everybody likes it, I think. Everybody.
I'm out.
Next time.